It was another comeback effort for the Yankees on Wednesday night as they defeat the San Diego Padres 4-3 to win their second game in a row and win the series against a strong Padres team. But it did not come easy. The Yankees found themselves down 1-0 heading into the bottom of the seventh inning while being no hit in the process by Dylan Cease before Cody Bellinger took a high fastball that was a little bit out of the zone into right field to tie the game 1-1. But that wasn't all the adversity the Yankees had to overcome. They struggled in that following inning as the Padres pushed across a couple of runs on the combination of Ian Hamilton and Luke Weaver. The runs were all charged to Ian Hamilton, who gives up 2 earned over 1/3 of an inning pitch after having 6 consecutive scoreless outings. But the Yankees then found themselves down 3-1 going in to the bottom of the 8th inning, and that is where pinch hit hero Trent Grisham clobbered his 10th home run of the season, a 2-run shot to tie the game in the 8th, and had just missed what could have been a double down the right field line earlier in the at-bat, and ends up getting a good pitch to hit from Jason Adam, who has been fantastic, not only for the Padres this year, but dating back a couple years to his time with the Tampa Bay Rays. But Trent Grisham against his old team gets that 2-run home run, and Luke Weaver shut stuff down in 9th. And then we had an eventful 10th inning because, boy, was this going to be fascinating, because Aaron Boone, the entire time, based on who he had warming up in the bullpen and who he didn't, was planning to go to Devin Williams if the game went to 10 innings. The game went to 10 innings. Devin Williams came in, and it was a little bit of an experience, as it has been all season long for him. Martin Maldonado was placed on second start the inning, got immediately, obviously, pinch ran for by Brandon Lockridge. Devin Williams got Fernando Tatis to strike out. Lockridge ends up stealing third. Arise walked. Machado struck out. And then he hit Jackson Merrill in like the back arm in the elbow region with a pitch to load the bases with 2 outs in the top of the 10th inning, but was able to get Xander Bogaerts to strike out on a 3-2 changeup to get himself out of that inning, out of that jam, and the Yankees to give them a chance to win in the bottom of the 10th. And the Yankees play a little bit of small ball in the bottom of the 10th. It's one of the only times these days you see. Okay, I will say this knowing we saw this on Tuesday, but typically this is one of the only times you will see teams do a sacrifice bunt to move runners over to third base. In this case, it's one of the rare times you'll see it from when there's only a runner on second. When the Yankees attempted it on Tuesday with Oswaldo Cabrera, they were trying to move runners from first and second both over. But in this case, Oswaldo Cabrera was able to get the sacrifice bunt down onto the third base side to move Jason Dominguez to third, and then they had JC Escarra come and pitch hit. Worked through some tough pitches in that at-bat, but eventually got a deep fly ball to left field that was able to allow Jason Dominguez to score on the sacrifice fly. And the Yankees take the series from the Padres. They get their 21st win of the season. And Devin Williams gets his first win of the season out of the pen. 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch, 3 strikeouts. And he gets his first win, and he was pumped up after the game. And look, if there's one thing you could say about Aaron Boone, he doesn't give up on his guys, even sometimes when he should, or sometimes when he should push back. And regardless of, obviously there was a positive outcome here for the Yankees, but that was a bit of a ballsy move by Boone, because if Williams gives up a run or 2 in that inning and the Yankees lose, we all know what the conversation was going to be tomorrow. Despite the fact that the Knicks overcame a 20-point deficit again to go take a 2-0 lead over Boston, winning both games on the road, obviously that's going to dominate New York sports talk tomorrow, or today as you're listening to this. But the topic number 2 would not have been Juan Soto's 2 home runs for the Mets. Wouldn't have been anything else. It wouldn't be continued Islanders number 1 pick talk. It would have been, how on earth did Aaron Boone let Devin Williams pitch another high leverage spot and cost them another game this year? But he did, and he didn't cost them the game. And you could see Devin Williams was fired up. Let's hope it's a turning point for him. We've had a couple spots in this earlier this year that felt like potential turning points for Devin Williams, and it didn't happen. So let's not, prematurely crown or label anything at this point. But that was a big, big win for the Yankees, who now will have an off day here on Thursday before heading to Sacramento to face the no prefix Athletics. It's taking some time. I will get it right. I'll put $1 in the Oakland jar. And really, he's only had 3 hits in this game. 2 of them from Cody Bellinger and then the 1 from Trent Grisham. So they had 3 hits, 2 home runs in this game. But obviously the comeback late was a big story. But the story was the pitching. And now that the Yankees won, the principal story is Max Fried. The Yankees are now 8-0 in games in which Max Fried starts this year. He is 6-0 on his own record. 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts, and 1 earned run. He threw 2 bad pitches in this game, both to Jackson Merrill. One was a deep fly out. The other one left the yard. And you can kind of see by his reaction, if you go watch the Jackson Merrill home run highlight, you could see the minute that he makes contact. I have not seen Max Fried that animated in his time as a Yankee, but I think it was, a sense of, you almost give up a home run in his first at bat. You want to make some adjustments. He's dangerous, and you come right back and give up a home run, later in the game to that player, and he was very frustrated. But other than that, absolute gem from him. His ERA has risen all the way to 1.05. He's got a .91 whip, and he's going to be the topic of our Friday show. I promised you that if he had another good start here, and particularly if he had a good start in the Yankees won, that we would, much like we did last Friday, where we talked about where Aaron Judge sits and what he's been able to do. We need to talk about Max Fried, who is off to the best 8-game start of a new Yankees pitcher in the history of the franchise. And I want to sit and talk a little bit about what he's been able to do, and quite frankly, why he is so crucial to this team. The Yankees are 5 games over 500, and they're 8-0 in his starts. I mean, you could do the math there. Where would this team be without Max Fried? And you could say, a couple of the starts, they had enough offense. They didn't really, especially this first start where he didn't technically get out of the 5th, so he didn't get a win, but they had enough offense to get by anyway. But where would this team be? This is a below 500 team, most likely, or maybe at 500 without Max Fried. So we'll spend some time talking about him on Friday's show, but really exciting performance from the Yankees. A really good sign to see them come back late. The Padres coming into the series, the Padres had lost a grand total of 0 games when leading in the 7th inning or later, and they lost back-to-back nights to the Yankees in that scenario. And again, it's you take what you can get. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth, but boy, do you look back a little bit on that Monday game and go, damn, this should have been a sweep. And what would have felt like sweeping a team of that caliber in the Bronx. But you take the win, you take the off day, and now you had the cross country, and you got 6 games in the western portion of the country in the Pacific time zone this year before coming back home. So long travel to come, and we're going to break it all down. But first, we're going to talk about how dominant Max Fried has been, and we're going to do it on the Bombers Beat podcast on Friday.